Hey everybody, this is Ben Atkin at Coldwell Banker, and this week we're going to talk about 5 different ways to collect rent from your tenants. I'm still surprised sometimes when I hear that landlords are going over and knocking on doors to collect rent. In today's day and age, where there are so many resources available to us, there's really no need to do that, and it takes a lot of time. By far, the best way to collect rent is online, through a software service like Appfolio, Buildium. There are a lot of them. Here's the second way that you can receive rent, and that's simply by a personal check. But personal checks have some cons, definitely. The biggest downside is that checks could be lost in the mail, they can bounce. There are a lot of things that can happen to checks that make it really difficult to get an accurate accounting of who's paid their rent and when they paid their rent. Still, checks are a lot better than accepting cash. So let's actually talk about accepting cash. Oftentimes, tenants don't have bank accounts. They cannot pay with a personal check. So do you accept cash? At Coldwell Banker, we do not accept cash, and here are a couple of the reasons why. First, when tenants pay their rent in cash, there is no paper trail. It's really hard to keep track of all of the monies coming in and going out. It's also really easy to simply count incorrectly and have the wrong amounts. And who wants to count cash anyway? And here's another really important downside to cash. It's a security problem. If you've got 20 or 30 units, you might be receiving thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars each month. And you don't want that cash just sitting around the office. So what do you do if your tenants don't have a bank account? That's where money orders come in. Money orders are very similar to cashier's checks. They're certified funds. They cannot bounce because the money has already been allocated for that check. You can get money orders at grocery stores, at the post office, at a check city. So people who usually don't have bank accounts, they've used money orders in the past, and that's a much safer, much better option than accepting cash for rent. Now here's the last method I'm going to mention, and it's pretty clever. It works pretty well for quite a few people. We don't do it at Coldwell, but it works for some personal investors. That method is a direct deposit to the bank. The way that this works is a tenant takes their money, their cash or check or whatever, they bring it to the bank where you have your bank account, and they have the bank account number, and they make a deposit directly into the bank. Now they get a receipt back, and the tenants love that, but there is a downside to this method, and that's that you don't know when you're looking at your bank statement which tenant paid and which didn't. Especially if the tenant splits it up in 2 payments. If, for example, their rent is $700 and they have $350 one day and $350 the next day that they deposited, it's a little hard, it's a little tricky, but this really works out well for people who don't have a better option and want to automate their rent collection. So there you go, there are your 5 ways: cash, check, money order, direct deposit, or my favorite, the one we use every day, online payments. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it's been helpful. Maybe try one of these out. If you're having a hard time collecting rent and you're knocking doors and collecting rent directly from tenants, maybe try one of these methods. Give me some feedback. Leave a question, leave a comment below. Please be sure and subscribe, like our page. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great day.